make sure you subscribe, click that little bell icon to be notified of upcoming videos, support us on Patreon, like us on Facebook and Instagram at Model Railroad Techniques. Please have a look at my new website, www.modelrailroadtechniques.com. Hi, Darren from MRT here. Recently put up a Facebook post on various sites out there on Facebook and got quite a groundswell of support regarding how did I do this technique. So I'm going to step you through it step at a time. So without further ado, let's go to the bench and let's get started. So on the first layer of colouring for this build, I'm going to use burlap, which is the Americana paint there that you can see. It's sort of a beigey, browny type colour. Okay, the first thing I'm going to look at, this is the Trix Damter station. So this is the station facade. Now, as you can see, it is quite a long station facade. So we're looking at this part of 35 centimetres, and it's approximately 25 centimetres tall. So what I'm going to look at doing is I want to make it look more stone-like. So what I've been working on is the other facades, if you can see that. So just a bit of a different colour. So the colour I'm using is this burlap colour, which is not too dissimilar to this colour here. However, I think it's just a little softer colour, and it's quite a nice colour. So all I'm going to do is, it's an acrylic paint by Art Deco, the Americana range. I'm literally just going to splodge all this on to give it its undercoat. And what this actually also does, it takes away the plastic look and the sheen to this model. So what I'm trying to achieve here is, obviously back in the day these are all stone buildings, so just trying to replicate the wear and tear and the years of grime and dust and all sorts of build up in between all these crevices. As you can see, it's quite an ornate type building. Don't know if you can see the detail there, but the detail just across this the mezzanine floor, or the track level floor, which is through this sort of area here, is quite phenomenal. Right, so to speed up the drying process, I am going to use my wife's trusty hairdryer. There's a little bit of area, where did I see that? Just there that I missed. So we can start getting into the next part of this process. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to mix up a wash that's going to go over this. So we're going to use this, if we can see that, which is slate grey, which is Americana type paint as well. So it's probably just a splodge that's probably about that amount. It's quite a large. So you make quite a very, very watered down wash. So that's a pure black type colour, which is also Americana. So it's Americana brand. So what I do with my washes, you can see I put the primary colour in paint palette. Now the black on the side, I don't add the whole lot at this point in time. So I just want to see what type of colour I'm going to get first. So you can sort of see that's, to me, that's probably a bit dark. So we'll just add a bit more paint. And once I sort of get the proportions that looking sort of half reasonable, start splodging them on and then adding all the water. So that's probably pretty close. So with that, it's just a matter, I'll fill that whole receptacle full up with some dirty water. my paintbrushes, so it's just going to all add to the colour. So it's just a matter of really, I'll probably put a little bit too much water in, but that's okay. Really getting that pigment to go through. This is the beauty of these Americana paints. You can, by my experimentation thus far, you can actually water them down a fair bit to sort of keep a fair whack of pigment there. So just going to give it a little bit of a practice run just to see how that comes up. Probably needs a bit more water. Put a little bit of this on your brush, really get it into those low points, because this is really replicating not only sort of the mortar that may be used. Okay, let's move that aside, because the last time I did this I knocked that flying and I had washed that all over my bench. So I'll just pull it away and we'll I use the hairdryer quite predominantly on that. Now, so what we do now is you just grab a normal type car washing sponge or sponge you'd use in the kitchen. Now, what I do here is use the same undercolor. So what we're trying to achieve here is with the stippling is to bring the undercolor back through, particularly on the high points. So you sort of got to, it's like a dry brushing technique, but just a matter of on the high points, just it's quite important that you get all the paint off. And if you do get a splodge in one area, just sort of work it in like I just did then. Because what that's going to do is it will just show a point that it's had more colour come through. And what this is doing is really bringing these colours out, and it's making particularly that grey underneath really start to pop. So I'll show you a close-up version of how the stippling comes out. Now, I probably still need to do a little more work in some of that to build up different gradations in the different colours. But on a whole, as you can see how that overwash sits in all the mortar lines and all the other crevices. So the types of areas I probably need to tidy up are these types where it really starts to splodge through. But as you can see, I personally that looks quite nice. That's sort of it from a distance. So considering the colour that has come from, which is a real tanny, yellowy, browny colour. It's obviously a very weathered building, but that's how I wanted it to come up. So probably just a little more work through through some of these areas perhaps, but these areas here, it's actually quite hard to tell. They're actually very textured, so it did take a lot of that stain or that underwash on. So it's obviously one area that you need to be mindful of when you are doing these washes, the type of texture that you're putting it onto. Those of the weathering and the like. So I've gone back in with some pastels and the like, just to try to get the smudging down the walls and watermarks in a little bit better. So still a little bit more work to do, but that's the end product at this point in time. Obviously I've still got a fair bit to do on that build, but it's coming along nicely. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Make sure you subscribe, click that little bell icon to be notified of upcoming videos. Support us on Patreon, like us on Facebook and Instagram at Model Railroad Techniques.